This video is brought to you by Valvoline Full Synthetic High Mileage. Valvoline is America's first motor oil brand, and it's the first motor oil trademarked in the United States. They even developed the first racing oil, the first high mileage oil, and even the first synthetic blended oil. Valvoline spends years of research and development when formulating these products to ensure that your engine has superior protection. And it's the only motor oil brand with a dedicated engine lab. And the Full Synthetic High Mileage is proven to maximize engine life after 75,000 miles. It even has 50% better wear protection and even 25% better deposit protection than the industry standard. It's got premium seal conditioners, it meets or exceeds the GF-6 standard, and it's the first high mileage motor oil. I personally use Valvoline in every single one of my cars, including high mileage in things like my K-Swap Integra and my 2013 supercharged Mustang GT. To find out more about Valvoline's full synthetic high mileage, make sure to check out the link in the description below. Thank you guys so much and enjoy the video. When you think about the Mark IV Toyota Supra, what comes to mind? Probably this, right? 1,000 horsepower, big turbos, obnoxious blow-off valves, you name it. That's what most of us think about the Toyota Supra. This car is one of the most popular cars of our generation thanks to things like Fast and Furious. However, is the Mark IV Toyota Supra what we really think it is when it's bone stock? Well, one of my good friends from my home state of Virginia called me up and said, hey, we have a bone stock factory twin turbo Toyota Supra for you to drive to get your opinion on it. So is the Mark IV Toyota Supra just as special when it's completely stock? Let's go for a drive and find out. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I am doing something very different. This is a bone stock Mark IV Toyota Supra. Bone stock, 1998 in the green color. That was extremely rare and only made in the United States. So not only is it rare because it's bone stock, it's also rare because of the color and the heritage of this thing. The first thing I notice is after driving big turbo ones, crazy fast ones, the Supra is actually a really smooth car to drive. Sure, it is an older car, that comes with it. But driving the 98, you know, it's the last year, it's got a little bit of youth to it compared to say the 93s, and this thing is immaculate. When I saw this thing pull up, I was like almost scared to look at it because it looks so nice. What makes the Mark IV Supra so special in our hearts? Well, yeah, we'll just say it, Fast and Furious is one. This car performed extremely well and was a Corvette competitor. And it out-slalomed it in a lot of ways. It was just as fast, if not faster, and it made a little bit over 300 horsepower. But the 300 horsepower came from essentially a twin turbo setup that acted kind of like a compound setup. One turbo helped the other one. This has the V160, the stock transmission, stock suspension, stock twin turbos, everything. One thing I didn't know is that since every other one I've driven had race seats in it, this has power seats. I didn't know the Mark IV had power seats in it, which is pretty premium for back then. The steering wheel in the Supra is also very comfortable, nice 3-spoke, super simple, and as always, I absolutely love the layout of the Toyota Supra's dashboard. It's all towards the driver. The passenger has no say. That's it. But I love that it has the wing. I've driven a stock in A1 that was wingless in Baltic blue, another rare color. But driving the twin turbo, it doesn't make any noise. I mean, you get on it, you get a little bit of turbo, but I mean, on camera, probably not. It's probably not even there. Go around the corner. Okay. Buttery smooth, but I hit a bump and the stock suspension did this nice little floaty feeling. See, look. Like, it actually makes like a deeper tone. Maybe it's because there's more going on, more vacuum lines, more turbos. It's just, yeah, it's a very unique car. You can kind of tell the Yamaha influence more when you don't have a turbo overshadowing the sound of the engine. I think that's what it is. I think I'm hearing the engine more than turbos, which is usually the other way around in a JZ. does driving a stock Toyota Supra, is it going to be as quote-unquote exciting of a driving experience as the stereotypical Supra? No. But if you wanted a quality car in the 90s, like, this is the best Supra I've driven when it comes to quality of how it was taken care of. Old guy owned it. What do you expect? They always take care of them. It seems like every time you buy an old Japanese car, you hope it's the old guy that garaged it its whole life. The power of the twin turbos is actually pretty fun. I've never really experienced it in the true fashion of being bone stock where everything's working perfectly, and the way it comes on is very smooth, and it also makes me go, oh, so this is why people thought it was a competitor to the R32 Skyline. Because when you drive a bone stock R32, the power band comes on in a very similar way. And it's quiet. It's not a crazy intense experience, and neither is this. But with the R32 Skyline GTR, it's all-wheel drive. This has a little bit of that fun factor because it has the rear-wheel drive. Get up to speed pretty quick. I mean, it's one of those cars where, you know, they said it was a little over 300. It feels like more, to be honest with you. And even when you're in fourth gear, you still have turbo lag, but it's not like the same type of lag you would get from a big single, because the big single has that crazy sound, theatrical experience, you know. But I think this just proves that back in the day, I get why people were so thrilled about this thing. It was a good looking car to most. Some people don't like the front of the Supra. I've always liked the look of the Supra. It's never been a problem to me. We also have the factory wheels on this too. Factory wheels, factory stance. And I didn't realize that even from the factory, it's set pretty low. I thought it was gonna sit really tall when it pulled up today, and I was completely wrong. So it has a nice stance to it even from the factory, even though the wheels and tires are extremely tiny compared to what most people do with big old meats on the back. Another thing too is, I noticed with the tan interior, not everything's tan. It's a combination of black and tan, and I kind of like that because when the dash is brown too, I'm like, yikes, I do not like that, especially in cars like the Integra, the Miatas, stuff like that. The Miata did a very similar thing. The seats, you're gonna get thrown around. As you see, there's not a lot of bolstering, but when it comes to going on a long road trip, you could drive this forever. I think you'd be fine. It's even, okay, I just rev matched right there. Could you even tell? Like, it's so quiet. Like, I'm listening for any kind of actuators or anything. You know how there's not really a blow-off valve, it's actuators with a spring in it. But you can't hear anything. Here, can't believe it. I'm gonna have to roll the windows up to get sound. Yeah, I get it now. I'm starting to get it, but it's one of those things where, as a platform, I can't imagine how thrilled people were. They're like, wow, this car feels great, even from the factory. What can we do with it? Unfortunately, with that mindset, that's why so many Supras fell victim to the aftermarket in bad ways. And to find an example like this, I couldn't even believe it. I was so shocked when I first saw it, and I'm so glad that there's still some that are left that are factory bone stock, because you can get in it, you can enjoy it, you don't have to worry about anything, you don't have to worry about crap falling off your car or blowing up a turbo. It's just a very unique experience because the USDM turbos were actually better than the JDM turbos. The Supra is one of the few cars where the US version was way better than the Japanese version. I think I've always thought that was really strange. Turns in well, it feels good. I just can't believe, I know I said this earlier, I can't believe how low it is. Like, I thought it was gonna sit super high, but I was wrong. If you wanna be the person to go out on the street or the track and be mobbing and ruining everybody's day, I don't think that this is the car for you. But if you want the Toyota Supra attention, you definitely get it. We've already had 5-6 people pull out their phones and be like, it's the Supra. You know, like freaking out, going, holy smokes, it's a Mark IV Supra. Because seeing a clean one like this, it's rare. It's rare to see such a pretty car in this condition from the 90s that was a Japanese icon, because everyone did crazy things with them, and it's rare that old man Jenkins put it in the garage. The reason I did this video is because I think people forget in they don't even remember what the Supra was like when it first came out, and I feel like I just drove a time machine, and that's all I could ask for. It was a ton of fun. On that note, guys, I appreciate every single one of you watching me drive this Toyota Supra. I mean, there's not really much more to say because it's everything I've always kind of wanted in a sports car, because it's a manual, it's not the V160, it has a good feeling to it. The V160 thugs, by the way. I always forget that there's this weird thug if you do it wrong. But it's smooth, it makes decent noises, it doesn't make the legendary quote-unquote Supra noise that people think of, but it's reliable, motor's never been open. That's a good feeling, you know. It's a good feeling driving something that's so factory, and at the same time, you get all the style points. So on that note, thank you all so much for watching this video. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy, have a wonderful day. 2J.